In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Public opinion does not exist for me because I have already created for myself a law which is above social law. It is very beautiful. It is so beautiful to hear the Quran tell us the sublime and delicate word is intended for it, but it is the innovative action that serves as his vehicle. This is in short the whole meaning of the Mohammedan mission to master the word so that it remains the foundation of dialogue between creature and creator, dialogue between men, dialogue between society and nature, but that this dialogue is authenticated by concrete and perfectly realistic action. Once again, it is about letting the heart and reason guide the tongue, this magnificent instrument destined only to produce simple but convincing truth, a piece of flesh that feeds the conscience. If it is pure, it is the whole universe that becomes the symbol of it. We are told that silence is golden. Agreed, but only on the condition that it prepares the individual for the demands of dialogue. Talkative people don't enjoy the privilege of transforming their ideas into several signs that can be put on paper. They are not yet able to write, and when one does not write in a modern society, one does not think well. And when one does not think well, the word that was once sacred becomes trivial. The success of a person in charge depends not only on good faith, but also on the sense of discernment of his entourage. Those who never stop giving advice must necessarily support their patriotism and their availability with concrete actions. What could be easier than to be a strategist in the beautiful salon of the king? But the real strategists are certainly elsewhere, where the spear of trials shines. Facing God, facing dialogue, and in a mature and organized action, according to the great principles of analysis, is a foundation without which the politics of life and the life of politics are only empty words. One should not accept everything. It is necessary to have a critical spirit and not a spirit of criticism because it is poison for men. The spirit of criticism is only good when one is in absolute certainty or uncertainty. It is 10 times easier to be a dispenser of insult than to be a challenger by vocation. The challenge, which is regarded by the great thinkers as the consequence of an unalienable discovery, the discovery of a second truth. This contestation cannot be used as a pretext for more or less dubious, more or less condemnable actions. God only appreciates those who are certainly walking on the path of advancement, which is not in conflict with the principles of any oral tradition. The bomb that destroys more than anything else is that of misunderstanding. We live in a world where we must not learn to polemicize or bicker, rather, we must learn to respond to polemics. There is mysticism and mysticism, but I think the danger that threatens our existence is mainly the absence of what is called dialogue. If it is amusing to spend one's leisure time formulating criticism, it is no less obvious that dialogue remains our only chance to avoid clashes that are more than harmful, especially since faced with the greater options. Men split into two groups. They are admirers and they are detractors. Criticism is easy. An absolute truth is far from being established in the systems in perspective. A marabout is despicable because he shamefully exploits his followers. A politician is vile because he takes advantage of the availability of his voters to make a name for himself. A colonialist is execrable. The intellectual is blacklisted because he is conditioned by those who deny him his originality. The rich man is no less abominable because he lives in a world where only usury imposes his law. The beggar feels hated because he is considered a parasite. One could say the same thing about everyone. One thing is certain, it is that the great critics sometimes reject on others their own doubts, the doubts which populate their subconscious. It is a disease whose tenacity largely exceeds the competence of psychoanalysts.